I'm doing the Dilemmas of a Book Nerd tag. I was tagged by Kay of Read, Love, Listen, and it was a tag created by Lindsey at Lindsey's Little Library. So, first dilemma, book storage. How do you store and organize your books? I don't really store them that well. I don't know, I have books on like my desk right here. Plus, I have books in my closet. And I don't know, I just got books standing up here. They're kind of all over the place. I'm starting to consider like my process of acquiring books because I used to have books from before I joined BookTube that are already there, and then I just started buying new books, and now I'm just kind of like, I can't be buying any more books because I don't really have space because this is New York City, and New York City don't condone like giving people a lot of space to live. I'm kind of want to cut back on the amount of stuff that I'm having in like my space, because although I'm the crazy bitch that's just still gonna get it, but there are books that I'm still going to buy. Like I'll continue to buy the Harry Potter series because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like that, and like Tony Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone series, I'm still gonna buy those books because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like those. Although crazy bitch out here is still running off like I'm going to like, buy the book before I even fucking read it. I'm gonna invest in the entire series before I read it. I believe I know my taste and I know what I like, okay? I mean, granted there are books that like basically the point is my book storage is all over the goddamn place. I don't know about getting no bookshelf because this is New York City. I ain't really got the space for it, so that's probably not gonna happen. Probably until I get like move into somewhere else where I have the space for that, but not right now, sis. It all comes back to like I am not gonna be buying too many books. I'll definitely be using the library a little bit more for certain titles that might be better off just borrowing it. Dilemma number 2, tracking. How do you keep track of what you've read and the books that you own? For the most part, I'm still using Goodreads to track what I've read. Although I'm not always good with it because I like, say I'm reading this, probably finished reading the book, and it's like a whole month later, I'm saying, oh, I finished reading that book. And I'm on to another book, and then I'm updating and saying, oh, I just read that book. And it's just, my tracking's off. Mainly the main tracking thing that I'm doing with that is just to say I've read these books this year more than saying how like when I actually read it within the year and how long it took me to read it, because that's not working out. That second part ain't been working out. And on Instagram, I'm mainly trying to like take a picture of the book that I read, give it a mini review, like just a short little review at the bottom of the picture, just to kind of like publicly keep track of what I'm reading and probably inspire other people in the process to check out the books that I've read, and maybe they'll find something interesting, because I think there have been some interesting reads that I've read, and I'm hoping that other people would be like interested in picking those books up. They might read my little review, to look at the cover of the book and be like, I'm gonna check that book out. Dilemma number 3, borrow. Do you lend your books out? I haven't had anyone around me wanting to borrow any books from me, but lately I've been thinking about lending out books and borrowing books and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like if there's anyone around me that I feel like I've read a book and I feel like this would be interesting to them, even if they're not much of a reader, just like tapping into something that like some kind of commonality with them and the book, I would lend them that book and be like, you have to read this. Check it out. Please check out the book. Tell me if you're going to read, like, I'm going to lend it to you. You read it. If it's not working out for you, you can give it back to me. No problem. But definitely check it out because I think you'd be interested in it. That kind of thing. Like, just be able to recommend some books to people around me and be like, yo, check out this book. I will lend it to you. It's not a problem. It's like, I think you would enjoy it. Dilemma number 4, buying. How do you buy or acquire your books? For the most part lately, I have been buying my books from Amazon, although I'm thinking I need to diversify a little bit more. I just recently bought some books from a seller on Abe Books. I went and bought some like books from my childhood on there because I haven't been able to find the book in the covers that I wanted, so now I found them, so I feel good about that. Any other books that I get are from comic book stores like Midtown Comics or Forbidden Planet, and that's where I'd get books, or Barnes and Nobles. But I'm thinking I need to diversify some more and go to like indie bookstores and indie publishers and independent black bookstores and buy books from them. But I definitely need to go to more independent booksellers, especially black owned booksellers, and buy from them. Dilemma number 5, comments. How do you respond to the "how do you read so much" comments or similar comments? I've never really gotten that question. I don't think I really get that question much. Maybe, yeah, I've never gotten that question to have to answer it, and thinking about like, how do I read so much? I don't really think I read that much. I feel like a lot of other people read more than I do. I would say, to answer that question, if it ever comes up, in order to be able to read as much as I can, I try to read every day. I need to get on a more of a schedule where I read for about like a half hour to an hour a day, whatever book I'm reading, so that I can read more. But for the most part, I like read a book and then I always kind of have something else lined up next to read that I'm interested in or that I planned on reading ahead of time, so that I'm just like always from one book I'm moving right on to another book and keep going, keep going. I'm not sure how sustainable that will be, but for now I'm sustaining it because I'm trying to read books that I'm interested in. Dilemma number 6. Next book. How do you pick your next read? I don't know, it's weird. Like, initially when I started BookTube and how I wanted to read, I kind of wanted to group a bunch of books that I felt were similar for me, read them one after the other. I would start with the book that I'm least interested in reading or least excited about reading, going towards the book that I'm most excited about reading. Dilemma number 7. Travel. How do you pick what book or books you bring on vacation with you? I don't do much traveling, so there isn't really a need to pick what book I'm going to go on vacation with. Maybe with more traveling that I do, I'll have that dilemma to deal with. I think when I went to BookNet Fest, I picked Battle Royale mainly because I was in the middle of reading it, and it's a long book, so I was like still just kind of going through trying to read it. So if I'm in the middle of reading something, I'll finish it up and it's long enough, then I'll take that. But if not, then I'll be like, okay, we'll just find something that's very much vacation themed to where I'm going, or just themed in like where my head's at, where my mood is at the moment. Dilemma number 8. Annotate. Do you write or highlight or mark up your books in any way? I do not like mark or write up in my books. I might have like the little tabbing and stuff like that I'll like put in the books. I try to annotate. Maybe I'll take a picture of a passage or something that I am annotating and be like, ooh, this is cute. I'm gonna like take a picture of that and post that as like my little annotation. But for the most part, I kind of tab. I don't really like marking up in it. Maybe if it's like a nonfiction, like very personal growth, self-growth, self-help kind of thing, really cool advice or whatever, I might start marking it up. But for the most part, I'm gonna like just tab it up. Although I just found out about these cool like highlighter tab things. They're like long and translucent and of different colors, and you could just like put them right over what you want to highlight without actually marking up the book, and it gives you the little tab. I'm like, that's fly, that's cute, that's cool, that's what's up. I'm gonna have to get those. Number 9. New or backlist. Which do you prefer, new releases or backlist books? I like both. It kind of goes along with how I pick my next book. So I might read backlisted books because I've just found out about them and I find them interesting. Or something new might come out and be like, I have to read this now because this is really tapping into my mood. Basically, I like both. I like a new release and I love a backlist. Dilemma number 10. Sequels. Do you read books as they are being released, or do you wait for the entire series to be released before you read book 1? I don't think it really matters for me too much. Like, if I start reading a series, I'll probably like read as each book comes out and maybe even reread right before the next book comes out. There are books that series are complete and I'm just like now kind of buying them book by book, seeing if I'm into the series or not. With the Hunger Games, I was kind of late to that. all 3 books had already been out and the movies were just about to come out. So I just got like the box set and I read all of it because I thought it was gonna be good, and it was really good. So I was not disappointed in buying the box set. So I got the entire series before I even read the first book. But with something like, I don't know, like with Twilight, I guess, I read like the first book, but that was also because Twilight, like the first movie was coming out and it was kind of hype. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna read the book before I watch the movie. And I didn't hate the book. I liked the book. I enjoyed it. But somebody also kind of spoiled the rest of the book series for me. So I just was like, I don't care about reading the rest of it anyway. I'm not that attached to it. And there's also like Children of Blood and Bone, where I still haven't read the first book yet. So it's kind of like, do I read the first book and then read the second book and then wait for the third one to drop? Or do I just wait for the third one since I haven't even started the first one? And I think with Children of Blood and Bone, I'll read the first and the second book and wait for the third like everybody else. But it at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me either way. I'm not obligated to tag anyone for this tag, but let me see. I tag Isabella Alquez, Brittany at Melanin Eclectic, Oshale at Oshi Reads, Amani at Along the Pages, Erica at The Broken Spine. Definitely check out Erica's video. She's cool. She's a sweetheart. She's just very, like, her content is very soothing. Her voice is very soothing and cool. And she talks about different kinds of books. She reads different books. And Tea Time Tea Reads. Hey Tola, what's up, girl? I love you. Shout out to my British girls. I love her. I just love her so much. She's so funny. She's so cool. She just did a video where she's interviewing Evelyn Hugo and Aylin Galathinius. Either way, she interviewed those 2 people, and I definitely, like, I love her. She's so funny, and I know it's going to be fun and funny to watch. So check out Tola. Check out Tea Time Tea Reads Tola. She's so cool. She's so funny. She's so, like, what's up, my British girls? What's up? Thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'm out this bitch like Fleek.